maybe trace you. Okay.
So why do you feel like he's tracing? Like what led you to that?
Actually, I should probably bring this out back then. Okay. So, I don't even, where do you want me to start?
Yeah, I guess this is always a tough question. Where do we start, right?
Right. I guess.
How long have you known him? We'll start there. When did you meet
Zach. Zach.
You know what? Let's go with Rosario.
Yeah, Rosario.
When did you meet?
Yeah.
When did you meet Rosario?
Like, I met him on Facebook.
Okay.
And we started talking through like the Facebook dating site or whatever, and then it was like February-ish.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was so like right around Valentine's Day. He like sent me a text, you know, Happy Valentine's Day or whatever. And then we just started kind of talking from there. Went out on a couple of dates. Started talking on the phone a lot more. We lived like an hour away, so it was kind of hard.
Long distance thing.
Right. But like, you know, he has kids and I have kids, so you know, like on the weekend or whatever when we didn't have the kids,
Sure.
or when Zach would take the kids. Now, so I met him in February, and nobody really knew about him, you know, other than my best friend. So because it wasn't really like, you know,
Sure.
anything big. And then I was going to Mexico in the beginning of March. So like March 3rd to the 10th, I was in Mexico. And before I left, Zach and I had our twin boy's birthday is and Christmas Eve. That day, he came over to the house and there was an argument. He was upset. Our daughter wasn't there the day before Christmas. He began throwing things out of my house. I had to call the cops to have them come and ask him to leave. So that was kind of a violent episode. That was not the first time.
And this was just before you met Rosario, or
This is before.
the Christmas before?
This was, yeah, so 2019.
Okay.
So Christmas 2019. So that's December. So I didn't meet Rosalia until February.
Okay.
But December was when Zach and I had that blowout, and we hadn't talked at all. Like, I kept my distance from him. I tried to file a restraining order. Washington County wouldn't order it. I had 7 pages worth of history of why I needed this restraining order. I was afraid. And they let it go. He kind of gloated in that. And then he came and talked to me and said, hey, you know, I gotta go take care of some stuff out west and I'm gonna be leaving. And I said, fine, you know, I said, but I just want you to know, like, I'm done, you know, with the relationship. Like,
So that was the official split in the relationship?
Yeah, like I basically said, like, I don't want to do this. I don't want.
That's when he ended it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, before I went to Mexico, yeah.
Okay.
And it kind of was like, if this is where our worlds are at, like, I don't want to live like this. This is not the first time. So I was kind of done. That's why I went for the restraining order. So right before I was leaving for Mexico, I did not tell him I was leaving for Mexico because I had fears of him going after the kids, because if he knew I was gone, he would try to take the kids, and that's exactly what happened. So he was at my house the day before I left for Mexico, or 2 days. He said he was going out of town. I said, okay. I said, well, I'm heading out of town. I said, well, you know, exchange the kids when I get back. I'll be back on Tuesday in the next week. He was like, yeah, okay. Nothing. Then, but the second day I was in Mexico, he,
When was this?
March 3rd, I got there, so like the 4th, I think it was, or something. I think I even still have the text messages, but it was, oh, you're in Mexico. That was this big jealous thing of, you know, you're down there messing around, you know, screwing people, and da-da-da-da-da-da, and I was there with all friends that I knew, and it was very, you know, I wasn't down there with anybody that he even didn't really know. But anyways, had a big jealous fit about that. Showed up at my house where my best friend was watching her kids at 3:45 in the morning. Came into the house because my friend smoked cigarettes, so she forgot to lock the front door when she went out, so she just closed it.
This is your house?
My house, while I was in Mexico. My friend Becky was there watching the kids. Kids were sleeping. He came in, stood over her. She woke up to him standing there. And he's like,
What's her name? I'm sorry.
Rebecca, Becky, yeah.
Okay.
And he and her do not get along. But it's another story. And then, so she's kind of like, what? And then he's like, she's in Mexico and you knew about this and she's whoring around and blah, 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 blah. And just, I don't know what she could, she's more than happy to tell you what he all said. And then he went upstairs to his room and told me that he woke her up and started questioning her and asking her, who's Leo? Who's Leo? Well, it's Rosalio. I call him Leo. He's Leo in my phone.
Who's it?
Leo is what I was calling him in my phone.
Okay.
And asked, who's Leo? Who's Leo? And then she was like, I don't know, or whatever. Now, that was in March, so I had met Rosalio already in February. How...
You never brought it up to him?
No, I never told him about his name. I never told him anything at all. I did tell Leo called me on the phone one time when we were in the car on Bluetooth, and he said, who's that? And I said, oh, that's my friend Leo. And she's like, oh, who's that? I'm like, he's just a friend, because that was, how that was. So I assumed that name came from is afraid of her dad. I will just tell you that, in a sense that she will do whatever he says.
Yeah. It sounds like a pretty controlling dude.
So then, so the whole Mexico thing, so I had to get on the phone with the police department because he wanted to take the kids. He was telling Becky, I'm taking the kids. He started making breakfast at 4 o'clock in the morning. My kids need to eat. Becky said it was the most bizarre thing. It was like, he was like Susie Homemaker and like, gonna do his dad thing or something. I did not give him permission to have the kids that weekend, even though we have it's strange how it's set up, but I have full custody of the boys and placement of the boys, and we have 50-50 custody. Only because it's just a weird how it all ended up older than the boys and insurance things, and state got involved with them, not with the boys. So there's paperwork on not paperwork on the boys. Anyways, so that's always been a thing where he'll just show up and be like, well, I'm dad, I'm 50%, I have rights to be here and pick them up and do whatever I want to do. Okay. And so that was kind of always that part of the relationship the whole time. So came there, tried to pick up the kids, I tried to stop that. He left that night, and then I tried to communicate and figure out what's going on from Mexico with him trying to want the kids. He's never had the kids overnight before this time. Okay, before I went to Mexico. Never had an overnight with the kids. His house was never set up to have any kind of rooms or anything. He just lived there in his own little strange world. And we hadn't lived together for 10 years. So we did live together, up until 3, and then he bought his own house. So we haven't been living together, but we've been together and trying to be co-parents or however. So anyways, then he sends me messages that he's got beds set up in his house and he's got a place for the kids now. And okay, so then I allowed him to have the kids for like the weekend when I was in Mexico. I arranged it with him over the phone and said, okay, fine. I don't want, whatever, just keep you at bay.
So that was
right.
That was the outcome of the situation. Is they take the kids for the weekend.
Fine.
Just get out of my hair. I'm
fine.
On vacation.
Correct. And I'll be back Tuesday. Make sure that you have the kids dropped off at school. We'll do this. I don't want to see you. We're done. Like done.
Okay.
Then, I tried to be civil about things when he came back. I'm like, look, okay, I just want to talk. We met at like Chocolate Factory, sat down and talked, and I'm like, I just want to be able to communicate about the kids, come up with a plan, a schedule, whatever we need to do that way. And he wanted to talk about a relationship and keep, why can't we give this a try? And you're not giving me a fair shot, and all of, all of that, and just several emails from that time on. about trying to stay together. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, I just don't feel like I can do this. Like, I'm just not, I'm scared of you. I'm all, you know, I'm on pins and needles. It's like sleeping with the enemy. I can't do that anymore. You know, I don't trust you. All of it. I mean, I had all the conversation with him. I told him how I felt, laid everything out. And then some time went by. Now we're kind of at the end of.
How did the meeting go with the Tuesday package?
Sort of civil, a lot of tears, just really just kind of like, you know, I don't want to be back in a relationship. It's essentially where my stance was.
Okay.
Then there was like, you know, several weeks of, you know, I'm having panic attacks. I'm anxious. I can't sleep at night. You know, this is killing me. And just, you know, all of like the breakout heart stuff, you know. And I just, you know, kept saying, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to hurt you. There's no, you know, I'm not, you know, I want to be able to communicate about the kids. I want to be able to get, you know, that, you know, that's what's important. And you know, then it would go into, well, you know, you're screwing around, blah, 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 blah. And then went into my cell phone and saw a text message from Leo that said like, good morning, hon, or good morning, love. And so this was, I don't know, I could probably look. Back in April, I'm gonna say. So she was upset because she thought that he was saying I love you and I was saying I love you, and she didn't know this person, and she was wondering, like, you know, she's like concerned, like, mom's dating somebody and I don't know about this or whatever. So she told him, and then he told me, well, found a text message, and so you know, you're dating somebody and you love them, and I just went into everything, and I'm like, wait a second, you know, we're not upset, reached, you know, crossed lines and went into my text message, like, isn't that what's more important here? And then, so that just started kind of.
So what did you tell him? Okay.
I don't. I really don't.
What she told Zach?
She told him something. I mean, she was upset, like, with me. And then,
Yeah.
goodness gracious, this is so much. I mean, I swear I couldn't make this up if I tried. This is just unreal. It's kind of. What is going on here?
She was upset with the new relationship, so she tells Zach.
Right. So that kind of snowballed him into his jealous type stuff. She, what did she tell me?
How do you know that she told Zach? Did Zach confront you or what?
Yes,
Oh.
yes.
Okay.
And then, so there was one day, and now I can't remember what day it was, but she's like, Mom, you need to tell the truth. So Zach was like, so you're texting some guy, or some guy's texting you, and da 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 da. And I'm like, look, I already told you, Zach, that I'm seeing someone. So, you know, I've already been honest and upfront with that. There is no like secrets about it. I said, and as far as I haven't introduced him to her because this is new. Like, these are our kids, you know, like, I'm being smart about this. This isn't, you know. And so she was upset. She's like, well, I don't know who he is. And da, da, da. I'm like, why are you so upset about this? You know, like, honey, are you going to let me deal with it? And then she's like, well, you know, just show the text messages. Show me the text messages. Tell me that you're not. And like, she was confronting me, like, you know, why are you lying? I'm like, honey, I don't need to show you my text messages, you know, and
Sure.
Even if I do show you, like, I've already told you that I've seen somebody. You don't need proof of seeing it, you know, and he's standing there and he's just like, yeah, why don't you show her? Why don't you show her? You know, in front of him, of course. And I'm like, no. So she became very upset and confrontational with me about the whole thing.
When did this occur?
That was probably mid-April, beginning of April, before her birthday. Now her birthday. Okay, so this is probably 2 weeks before her birthday. So then, you know, I just got a lot of slack from him about, you know, you're a new guy and da 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 da, and you're seeing somebody and stuff. Then, the day Zach and I had agreed that we were gonna split for the birthday. She was gonna go by his house on that Friday, the 24th, and stay at his house overnight with the boys. And then her birthday, I was going to be going to his house to have a little birthday party and then pick up the kids. Because she was getting a skateboard, so we were gonna go down the trail together with the skateboard, right? Mom agreed to do all that. And so we did that on that Saturday. And I got to the house, it was kind of standoffish, and I was like, what's the deal there?
What else?
His house on Saturday.
What's else?
No, I got to Zach's house
Okay.
to pick up the kids on Saturday. I know, okay, so the 24th happened. On the 24th, he had the kids, okay? So the kids were at his house. I was at home.
Okay.
Rosalio came over that night
Okay.
on the 24th, helped me decorate the day in the kitchen. He stayed over that night. About 3 o'clock in the morning, we were getting ready to go to bed, turned off the lights in the bedroom, and my doorbell went off. And I was like, what the heck? So I'm like, that's weird. So I looked out the window, and I looked out my front window, which looked directly out to the main Appleton Avenue. And as I looked out the window, I saw a black car pull out, and I looked next to a bar. The bar is closed, there's no business because of COVID, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning. And I saw a black car, and I'm like, son of a bitch.
It was his car.
It had to have been naughty. I mean, it was a black car. Now, I didn't take a license plate, and it pulled out, squealed out of there, pulled right past the house, and went down, what way is that? Freaking west, I think. And that would have been the way that he would normally take to go back to his house. I was like, oh shit. And Rosalia, I didn't tell him that night, but then later on I did tell him, but he's like, oh yeah, he's like, you didn't tell me that you saw the car. I'm like, yeah, you did. So then I was like, I had the feeling like that was that. Like, it was kind of apparent. So I kind of, I had that feeling. Then that morning, Rosalia went out to his truck, and then he came back in, and he's like, hey, he's like, did I go out to the truck last night? I'm like, no. And he's like, this. He's like, my allergy med is in the middle of the console, and I usually keep that in the glove box. He's like, and then there's something else that's missing, or that's messed around in there. He's like, and it wasn't me. And I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, if you're telling me your ex was here possibly, then I think he probably went in my truck. And I'm like, seriously? He's like, yeah. All right, so, that was that. And so he just kind of left that. And then I don't know if then the next day was the birthday. So I went over to his house, had the little skate party thing, and then took the kids back to my house. He invited himself and his family to come over to my house for the party, which was not really the original plan. But he did anyways. And then, I agreed because he was excited about her aunt being in town, so I let everybody come over. Okay, fine, we'll have cake and brownies again. While we were there, like I said, when I got to his house on Saturday, she was standoffish, that she didn't really want to hug me or touch me or anything. And then Saturday at her birthday, she was upset and kind of visibly upset with me and kind of crappy with me. I got her a flip phone for her birthday. She lost her mind. She was mad as hell at me.
For getting her phone?
For getting her a flip phone. Okay, so then now I'm already the worst person in the world because whatever and now the flip phone, right? So she went off on me, like, I don't want to be here, you don't want me here, you don't want dad here, and just flipped on me. Like, honey, what is going on? What happened? You were fine yesterday, what happened today? Then she started, she's like, well, can I just stay overnight at Uncle Josh's house with Aunt Zita, which is his family. Jocelyn thinks Sheboygan. And I'm like, okay, that's fine if you want to stay with your aunt, I get it, go ahead. So her birthday night, she did that. And Zach's like, can I just talk to you? And I'm like, well, can your family be here? Like, I don't want to talk to you alone. And that was one of my things about talking to him, was I didn't want to talk to him in my house anymore, because the last incident, he pushed me out of the house and locked me out. So I'm like, no, if we're going to talk outside, or whatever, that's fine. I'm like, but why can't your brothers be here? And he's like, ooh, can we just talk? I'm like, fine. So then he's like, then he starts describing what I was wearing Friday night. He's like, see a pink tank top, and you were listening to that song, weren't you? And I'm like, what song? And then he's like, tells me the song that we were listening to. And he's like, let me see. He's like, let me check your TV. It's got to be on the phone, or it's got to be on the TV. And he's like, if you're listening to it, let me see the history. And I'm like, no, you're not going to my house to see the history. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I just see things. I know things, I can tell when, I've told other people, like ESP, like type things. Like, I told other people that they're going to meet their somebody, and they do, and then, they're together forever. And so I just get these visions, and so now I have this vision, and and you're there with him, and like just basically explain the entire night. And I'm like, how would you have known if you weren't? Now I have a big deck, sliding, what do you call those? Deck door, and it's all glass windows, and then the blinds don't close. So anybody could stand there and just look right into my kitchen, straight through the house, and right into the couch, right? And that's exactly what I did. And I walked out there to see where he would have been able to stand to see us, because he's like, you're on the couch, and you were there, and you had shorts on, or something like that, and this, and then like describing everything, and you had your hand on his lap, and then this, and then, and then you guys went into your bedroom, and I'm like, if you weren't here, how did you see all of that stuff? Okay. And then, so finally, he kept denying it. And then I said, something's wrong. I said, I don't know. I said, I think your dad was here last night. Something's up. When she got back, I asked her. And I just literally said to her, I'm like, hon, I'm just concerned that Dad may have left you guys in the middle of the night and didn't tell you. I'm like, that would have, if Dad did leave in the middle of the night and told you, that would have been one thing. But if he didn't, like, what if something happened and you would have woken up to the boys and they wouldn't know which direction Dad went in, I'm like, that kind of scares me. And she's like, Mom, I gotta tell you something. And I'm like, what? And she's like, Dad did leave. And I'm like, he did? And he told me. And I'm like, he did. And she said, yeah. She's like, he woke me up and he told me he had to go and get some answers. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, what? And she's like, he needed to get some answers, Mom. He can't sleep at night. He just needed to be able to go to sleep. And I'm like, what? And she's like, now he can sleep, Mom. Now he can sleep. And I'm like, what does that mean? And she's like, well, he saw you. He was videotaping you. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, Mom, and I saw you, and you were there with that douchebag. And she's like calling him names and like using all this language that she's wouldn't use, And he did this and you did that, and I saw it. I'm like, how, what? And she's like, yeah, Mom, I saw it. So he must have showed her a videotape of what he videotaped me.
Was it having sex or something?
No.
Okay.
No, just sitting on the couch.
Okay.
Just hanging out together is all it was.
When you got home, you showed her the video.
Yeah, he must have. That's what she said. And then, had some conversations. So then when, she was upset about that. Mm-hmm. She was upset with me, like that I was doing something wrong, or that, I shouldn't have a friend over, or, whatever whatever. Wherever her mind was going with it, or
Sure.
I don't know what influence is, but
Mm-hmm.
sure can figure that out. So, yeah, since then, it's just been this back and forth about him, and then came forward about a week after all of that, when she told me about when she was like, Mom, there's something else. She's like, I think you should tell your friend. She's like, Dad could get in a lot of trouble for it. I'm like, what? And she's like, well, you should probably tell your friend to do something because dad took his registration out of his truck. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, how do you know? She's like, because I saw it. He was writing all over it. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, I'm like, he still has it? She's like, yeah. And he's not planning on giving it back. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, what's he going to do with it? And she's like, I don't know. He said he was going to maybe have him follow for fun or something like that. I'm like, okay, that's not okay. So then I told Rosalio, I'm like, hey, I'm just letting you know, told me that, the registration was gone in a letter. Because Zach said something to me about, you should go tell Rosalio, he's really in love with this other person, this DL or whatever. Well, this was a letter that he stole. So he took the registration and some letter out of the glove box, okay? Referred to this letter as well. So, and she goes, in a letter from some girl. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I don't know what the letter is. So when I asked Rosalio about it, I said, Rosalio, there's a letter and, this missing. Is that missing? He's like, yeah. And he's like, and the letter came with the vehicle. He's like, my daughter found it the other day. It was in the back. He's like, it must have came with the vehicle when I bought it. And, it's to somebody else. It's not to me. He's like, I just threw it in the glove box or whatever. He's like, so, he can have the letter, that's not a big deal. And then he was like, and if he wants to follow me, fine. He's like, if he wants to, come and talk to me like a man, then, that's fine. He's like, but I just really hate that he's being so disrespectful to you and, like all of that, like just, but we had talks about it and like, he's like, Rosalio, he's like, you just let me know. He's like, if you ever feel unsafe, and I'm like, okay, he's scary, but, I don't really know. I'm like, but now he knows where you live. And he's like, well, I'll just probably keep my doors locked now and, whatever. So then, let's see. I don't know. I don't know, we just kind of kept, it was all out. I kept talking and just kind of doing our normal, kind of like seeing each other every, other weekend or whatever. Didn't have the kids. And Zach just kind of kept texting me and then he would like, oh, so then one of the other ones was, let's see, our daughter went to a party at the tree farm, by his brother's tree farm, 2 weeks ago or so. And it was his sister's birthday party at the tree farm. And I took the kids up there.
So it was Boston?
The tree farm is in,
Boston.
no, it's in, yeah, Leesburg. Leesburg. And his brother just bought it. And he's very familiar with the tree farm. They grew up on a tree farm there.
It's an area where he grew up?
It's an area that he spends a lot of time as a really young kid. His dad is friends with like the previous owners, and then they just acquired this tree farm. His brother was able to buy it. So they have birthday parties up there and stuff like that. So I took the kids up. I agreed to take the kids up. When I got there, Zach was there, and I noticed on him he had kind of a cut on his forehead, one on his nose, and his toes bleeding. And I was like, "What happened to you?" And he's just like, he didn't like answer or whatever. And then I'm like, "Really?" And everybody asked him like, "What happened? What happened? What happened?" And he just didn't respond or anything, didn't say anything, just kind of fucked it off, like, "Don't worry about it." I'm like, okay. Like, would you get into a fight or something? And then he just kind of like shook his head and fucked it off. Well, then that night, I wanted to stay and hang out at the party and stay over at Grandpa's, which would have been his dad's, who lives close by there. And I said, okay, fine, she can stay. I took the boys home. Well, then we find out that got into some trouble. She stole a phone from her aunt and She's been acting out, which I get with a lot of the stuff going on. So one of the things that she'd been acting out with was the cell phone. And so it had come out that we were interrogating as parents about what all this stuff is going on. So kind of some of the stuff was on hold for a little while because we were dealing with stuff. We had kind of a big fiasco. It's kind of still going on right now.
Okay.
So in the midst of all of that, we had been somewhat communicating and been kind of allowing us to be able to talk, and this is about our child. We're trying to just be on the same page the best we can about it, but still very tumultuous. There wasn't really much conversation. It was around her. At that time, so a burner phone that she had been using to send messages, which was one of his old phones. It had cracks all over it. He had another burner phone that he used for music, which had been activated at one time, but it lost its whatever. Then he acquired a third burner phone that he uses, that he has, which is the burner phone there, that he uses that has service to it. So he uses that when he needs service. The broken phone was, and they had taken that phone, so he had the burner phone and then the other phone that he used for his phone, or for his music. After we were done with the whole situation, blah, 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 we all said no electronic thing at all, no, nothing. Even the flip phone was, I had the flip phone, nothing. That night, I was pretty upset. We all went over to my friend Becky's house. As we were leaving, I lifted up the blanket and I find the burner phone next to me. And I'm like, what are you doing with that phone? And she's like, and I'm like, does your dad know you have it? I'm going to tell your dad that you have this phone. Like, this was his big deal, no phones, She's like, no, he knows I have it. I'm like, what do you mean he knows you have it? We just literally left like an hour ago and said no phones, no nothing. And she's like, well, don't tell him. You're not supposed to know that you're not supposed to know that I have it. And I'm like, why, what? And she's like, well, Dad wanted me to record you. I'm like, doing what? She's like, anytime you got upset or you yelled or anything, he wanted me to record you. He's trying to take us from you, Mom. Like, okay. So I kind of asked her, I'm like, how do you know that? And she's like, well, that's what he said. I'm like, okay, fine. Like, well, whatever. I didn't really get into all that with her. But I took the phone. So I kept the phone and I confronted him. I said, I got your phone. What's going on? Then he comes back and says, oh, I didn't give her the phone. She must have had it from when we were playing on the phone in your car. She must have kept it. I'm like, what? I'm like, why wouldn't you have noticed you don't have two phones with you? Just that was just a whole thing he couldn't answer. So I kept that phone. And you're not going to give Dad back that phone? I'm like, not till he asks for it, So I've got all the dates in here. I could probably piece it together for you, but anyways, so then the following week, he wanted to see the kids, and it was a Friday maybe. And I said, all right. I'm like, well, when are you coming to get the kids? And he's like, I don't know. I'm doing this, and this. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, how about I drop the kids off by you? And he's like, okay. So I dropped off the kids. It was like 7:30 at night. This would have been about a week or so ago. Because every week every week he wants to see the kids at least for a day or something like that. So I've been letting him just kind of play with this because he won't give me a schedule of when, like a set schedule. So it's always just piecing together things. So I said, well, I'll drop him off because he lives 5 minutes from my brother.
Okay.
And I was going to go take a pond lily because I'm moving. So I was going to take the pond lily over to my brother's house. So I packed it all up in the truck and whatever with the kids and went over and I'm like, I'm going to drop off the pond lily. And so then when I got to his house, he's like,
What time was that that you said? Like
like 7:30-ish.
At night?
At night. Yeah, because he had to go to dinner and he wasn't going to be home yet. And the original plan was to drop the kids off at like 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Okay.
And then, so then that was the thing. So it was about, let's see, I dropped the kids off at,
What day?
yeah, I have it right here actually, Friday, May 8th.
Okay.
I said, you want me to drop off the kids? He's like, no, not home. And then he said, what time do you need to be gone? And I'm like, I was just going to drop off the water lily by my brother. Not a big deal. Kids were asking where you were, so I just thought I'd offer to bring them. So then I dropped off the kids. So 7:15.
Okay.
7:15. I left. Oh, no. 7:15, I said, gotta get the lily out of the pond and load it and then to you. Then at 7:18, he's like, you're super excited. Not asking what's happening after that flower, but your frequency changed to less tired. And then I just said, I'm less than excited about getting ponds come on me. I said, we'll be there soon. And then I got there. So it would have been about 8:53 or 8:30 I got there. Then he said, what time are you bringing the kids over tomorrow? And that was at 9 o'clock at night. And I said, huh? Because I'm like, you have the kids. Why would I be? And he said, and I said, you mean bring them home? And he said, wrong person, sorry. So I think that was he's trying to say like, he's got somebody, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm, oh, sorry, I was texting the wrong person. And then he texted me, too much makeup and perfume for Charles, which is my brother. Angry about pond water, had a fancy jacket hiding in the back of my car, which I didn't have a jacket. I had my camo jacket on that you saw me in actually. Premonitions don't make me psychic. Calls me Zachariah when she feels good. And then the next text was denim shirt, ... Kenosha. And that was at 10:42. And I was on my way out to Kenosha. So then I was like, why, how does he even know? So when I got to Rosalio's, I had a feeling that he had put something in the car when I dropped off the kids. Because he helped our son get out of the car, out of one of the sides of the car. And I just had a weird feeling and I'm like, I'm gonna check. So I searched underneath my car seat, or my car, I searched on the floor and whatnot, and I lifted up the car seat. Behind me, the passenger, or the driver's side, behind me lifted up the car seat, and the third burner phone that I don't ever really see, but it has the service on it, was on in a password locked position, on upside down like this, flat underneath the car seat. And I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. I couldn't open it up.
Were you at
Rosalio's, I was. And then, so I shut the phone off. And I came in and I told Rosalio about it. And I'm like, look, I found this phone. He's like, you gotta be kidding me. He's like, what is going on? He's like, this dude. He's like, what is up? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I wish you would just leave me alone. This is, going too far. When I found the other phone, I looked through it. I took a picture. I looked through it. And he had an Amazon account on his other phone. And in the Amazon account, he had 2 tracking devices sent to his home. I know there's so much, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place, but I'm just trying to tell you what I got here. So then I took a picture of the invoice. because then I started freaking out that he had put a tracking device on my car, or maybe on Rosalio's car, or something. So then when I found this too, I told Rosalio, I'm like, I found these 2 trackers. I'm like, I don't know. He's like, if he's tracking me, let him. You know, like, he was very kind of passive about it. Like, you know, I don't know what to do about this dude, but, you know, I'll keep an eye out, but he didn't seem like he was too afraid. You know what I mean? Like,
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna see a part of the guys here to download, because I like those messages you click now, so. There's nobody here. Oh, we're the only ones. All right. I guess we're not doing it. Yeah, Amazon account. Yeah, I was hoping to download the whole string.
yeah, I mean,
It's long, I know, it's skimmed through them, but,
yeah, I mean,
trying to eliminate, keep bringing you down here.
I don't know.
It's a pain in the ass to drive all the way down. I appreciate you coming back.
Yeah, well, I don't, I'm just very sick.
When was that purchase?
I don't even know. April. I thought it was kind of odd that he would have maybe have had it by the 24th, because I looked at that date and I'm like, what, so Tuesday, April 21st was estimated delivery date, Tuesday, April 21st by 8 p.m. So he would have had it before the 24th of April, right, her birthday.
As a mom, and you didn't know about a relationship?
Oh, no, he knew about it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You just figured out his name on that day, right?
So that was the other thing. So then the day that he told me that, you know, and we had a big fight outside about it the day after birthday when she left, and that was the thing. And I said, just to be honest with you, I said, I saw your car here. I know you were here. I know you were here. And then he's like, yeah, I did. I was here, and I saw you in. He did.
And this was at the birthday party.
This was after we left, and we were outside talking. Yeah, and I'm like, why? You know, and he's just like, jealousy and blah, 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 and I love you, and all, you know, whatever the whole conversation went, you know, I can't remember everything word for word, of course, but, you know, essentially he did complain and told me that, and then the burner phone was the next thing that happened, and then and at some point he rattled off his name, and he's like, I see, Rosalio Gutierrez. Yeah, that's his name. That's it. He's Mexican, and like he described him perfectly from that night. Like, and like there's no freaking way. That was the 25th when he was telling me that he had all these premonitions of me, the visions that he didn't actually videotape me, but he had visions that this was happening, and this usually happens in a breakup he's got with me, and I typically see things and, you know, whatnot. And then he rattled off his name, and I'm like, how would you would have had to have known his name somehow, you know? Shoot, yeah. That might have been another time, actually, because he kept, you know, anytime he would come over with the kids, or anytime he would want to talk, or anytime it would be like he wants to talk, you know, and it was just always go back to the relationship with Rosalio. That was, you know, he just couldn't leave that alone. You know, you're somebody else's, and you're calling him this and that and whatnot.
Okay.
I don't know. So the other burner phone, so I had been in contact with the police department about all of it, and I told them that I found this burner phone, and I called them and I said, look, this is weird. I know it's not related to the case, but this is related to me, and this is, I feel like it's stalking or something.
You told the police after you found this phone in your car?
Well, I called the police after I found the burner phone, and I found the tracking, the GPSs, and I asked them what to do, and they said, go take it to a mechanic, have it looked at, see if there's any tracking. I said, I did. There wasn't anything on it. Then I just documented it. I did that. And then, my mechanic friend came over, he's like, I don't know, we checked everywhere. And then this burner phone popped up. And so then when I found the burner phone that night at Rosalio's, I'm like, well, he must not have a tracking device on me if he's going to put a burner phone in my car, right? So there must not be a tracking device on my car is kind of what I deducted. And then, so the phone. So then I had the phone overnight. I stayed over at Rosalio's that night. The phone was off. I turned the phone off and came home the next day. And then I think it was that day. If not that day, it was the next day. Zach's like, hey, or he came to pick up. He said, hey, do you have, or to drop off the kids. That's what it was, because I was at Rosalia, so he came to drop off the kids. And he's like, hey, do you have that burner phone? And I'm like, yeah, I do. The one that I had on her. Because at this point, I didn't tell her that I found that other phone. And I gave it to him. And he's like, where's the other phone? And I said, what other phone? And he's like, the other phone that I have. And I'm like, I don't know. Why would I know where your phone is? So I think stupid. Like, I don't know where your phone is. You lost your phone. Like, why would I know where your phone is? And he's like, well, the last time I had it was when we were in the car with him. Like, Zach, that was 4 days ago. Like, you text me since then. Why would I even have your phone? Well, I had it at my house and da-da-da-da-da. And I said, you were playing music on it when I pulled up to your house with the car. I'm like, I don't know where your phone is. Well, I had it. I want to check your car. Can I look? And I'm like, sure, go ahead. You know, opened up all the doors. You looked at the front seat, went to the driver's front seat, and then went to the back seat, lifted up the car seat. The first car seat he lifted up was the one right behind me. Lifted it up, and then I could see his face right away because I was looking through the back. And then, I mean, I know what I clearly, like, I'm like, yeah, you knew exactly where you were going and what was there. And then, so he's frantically looking around. He's like, I need that phone. I gotta have that phone. And I'm like, why? And he's like, our daughter's stuff is on that phone, and da-da-da. I'm like, I understand. I'm like, why don't you know, call the carrier, disconnect the phone, you know, like, you lost it. Do what you gotta do. Go get another phone. I don't know, you know, like, I don't have your phone. I don't know what to tell you. Then, you know, he's, you know, distraught about it or whatnot. He leaves. I had contacted the Kenosha Police Department to let them know I did find this burner phone. She said, hang on to it. Don't give it back to him right now. So, okay. The next day he calls me and says, I called Verizon and they pinged the phone. Last time they pinged the phone was Kenosha. So I just want to know, do you have the phone? And I'm like, look, and then, he's like, just be honest with me. Stop playing games. I said, then you be honest with me. You stop playing games. I'm like, why was the phone in my car? Like, what? You know? And he's like, well, because I was tracking you and I put it in there because I knew you were going to go and da-da-da. And because I'm like, that's what I said. I'm like, well, I'm not giving you the phone unless you tell me the truth of why that phone would have even been in my car. Like, yeah, I have the phone, you know, but why is it in my car? And then he tells me that, right? I give him, like, fine. Like, he's like, can I just come over and get the phone? I said, yeah, you can come over and get the phone, now fine. Gave him the phone back. He was immediately shitting with me, immediately after I get the phone back. Then he's like, you're always lying, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, lying about what? You know, I've been honest with you about everything. I don't know what more you want from me. Don't want to be in this, you know, situation, whatever. And then he left, and then all the messages now have been like, you made me tell you that, and I never took any video of you, and I never did this, and I never did that, and you've been mean to me, and you know, all I did was try, and just all of this stuff. And then, so fast forward to just the other day. Yesterday. Saturday.
Crazy.
Okay, so I talked to so Zach, one of the kids on Saturday, this last Saturday, and then So I dropped the kids off at his house on Saturday. It was about 4:30. And I'd been very kind of direct, like, I'm gonna drop them off at 4:30, you know, you can have them from 4:30 to 4:30 the next day, like, because I just had to have, you know, just less talk.
This was Saturday.
This was Saturday.
Okay.
Let's see, so Saturday. I know you're gonna, I'll let you download,
Oh, I'm good.
but,
You didn't talk to him.
I dropped off the kids. Okay. After you drop off. So, he wanted to come by, oh God. It's weird, he asked. Oh yeah. He kept trying to tell me I dropped my phone in your car. I must have dropped it, must have fell out of my pocket.
This was Saturday?
No, this is like, yeah, kind of in some conversation on, oh God, what day was it even? Shit.
Okay, well,
Yeah, something about, you know, you wouldn't agree until I gave you the phone or blah, 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 blah. And then I called Cricket to find out where it was and I swore I lost it in my whatever. I said you already knew it was there. He said, I'm not spying on you. And then he was like, do you want to talk? I said, no, I don't. Then it was, he called him some name or something. Saturday, there it is, okay. I said, I'll have the kids see you by 4:30, I'll text you when I'm on the way. Then that was Saturday. That Saturday, he sent me at about 6:15 p.m. He sent me like a song to listen to, which he does, weirdly. Then Sunday was the kids. So Saturday I went over to Rosalio's. Okay, so after I dropped off the kids, like I said, Rosalio said, hey, you're welcome to come over. It's okay with the kids. You're welcome to come over. Then he called, you know, what do you want to eat or whatever. I got there, hung out with him and the kids. We had nachos. And then went for ice cream at Dairy Queen here in, you know, this is a town, so in Kenosha or whatever over there. Got ice cream, kind of drove around the lake, you know, with the kids or whatever, and then came back to the house. And then we watched a movie. And from the burner phone, that's where it is. From the burner phone on Saturday. Yeah, that's what it was, on Saturday. He sent me at 5:49, so no, that was
After all this.
he sent me a song from his Zachariah, the 689 number, that's his like kind of everyday phone, flip phone, and this burner phone. He sends me, I don't see why my place in West Dallas matters at all, because I said, you got this place in West Dallas, what's going on? Like, you have a house in Mequon, why did you buy a house? Okay, whatever, you know. I don't know why you're so upset about it. I didn't get the place to upset you. And just kind of like went into this thing. I didn't even like ask about really like text message about anything. You keep saying we're arguing, you know, when you try to tell me what I feel when I'm doing things, blah, 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 you don't seem to understand me. So kind of all this like, you know, I feel like you don't listen or you don't have interest in me. You certainly don't need to anymore. That was at 5:53. Then I kind of sent him back at 6 o'clock. And I think I wasn't at Rosalio's yet, so I was on my way. You know, sent him back some text like, that's not fair, I always supported you, you know, everything, you know, hitting me, like just basically like back to our relationship stuff, like, you know, you've always kind of done this and whatever. Said, I'm not mad, I just find it odd that you chose a place far away from your Mequon house. So then he had some banter back and forth about, you know, we're separated, you raced down, that's what he said. So at 11:23 at night, So 11:23 at night, he says, you race down to Kenosha every chance you get to lay with some Down syndrome Mexican version of your father, just to pull a noseful and laugh at anything he says as you desperately throw yourself at him, and in that you have your happiness. And that's what he sent to me on that Saturday from the burner phone.
What time was that?
11:23. Now, one other really strange thing that happened, here's this one too. The Wednesday before that Saturday, I had a sitter come over and she wanted to hang out with the kids. And so I went and hung out with Rosalio for a couple hours. It wasn't overnight, I just went over there for a little bit on Wednesday last week. I'm gonna find that because there was a strange thing that happened then. So Rosalio and I got to his house and we went to get tacos at a food truck. So it was about 9 o'clock by the time we got back.
What day? I'm sorry, what day is this now?
No, look right here. It was
Sorry.
Wednesday the 13th.
May.
May. Mm-hmm.
So it's before Saturday.
Just before Saturday. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. What did he say? Okay, so it's Friday, Saturday. Well, I'm not allowed to come here without my permission. I think it's, so Wednesday he said, I had told him, oh yeah, Debbie's coming over to watch us. And I said, yeah. I said, she, misses the kids or whatever, she's gonna come over for a little bit. I had told him this stuff. And so then he called me and he's like, well, I want the right of first refusal. If you want to go hang out with your boyfriend, you need to call me first and I'd be happy to watch the kids. And I'm like, I don't need you to watch the kids. Debbie wants to hang out tonight and I got other stuff to do. Like, I don't necessarily, it's none of your business what I'm doing, essentially. But I'm like, it's not for that or whatever. And then he's like, well, I just want you to know, he's like, and I told him, I said, well, I just want you to know I accepted this place in Sussex because we're moving. He said, so that you know. He's like, well, I didn't know if I told you, but I'm moving too. And I'm like, okay. And then he's like, well, that I've got that place in West Dallas or Greenfield or whatever. And I'm like, okay. And then he's like, well, he goes, well, do you want to hate me now? He's like, I don't really know if I need to talk about this, but you're going to hate me. And I'm like, okay, what? And then he's like, well, I retained a lawyer and I'm taking you taking you to court for custody of kids. And I just said, good luck. I'm like, fine, good luck, whatever you got to do. Okay, we're done, conversation over, like, right. Sounds good.
27 pounds of marijuana that don't help you any.
That's on, you got that? You got that?
No.
Sweet. We tried to look it up and I thought he was bullshitting me. Okay, so then, anyways, that's a whole other thing. So anyways, that Wednesday, so then he told me that he was gonna take me to court, and I'm like, whatever, that's fine, you do what you have to do. That night, the sitter came over, I was at Rosalio's, like I said, we went to go get tacos. It was, I can't believe then he kind of goes off of me, he tries to keep conversation with me, like all the time, whenever I'm going over there, it's like he knows that I'm like going there or something. I don't always tell her where I'm going, but he's got her so involved. Like I said, showing her video, all of that's wrong. There's nothing I can do about it, and she's telling me, and I'm like, I just have to document it. Okay, so anyways, he texts me, I'm at Rosalio's. We get back to the house.
This is the night.
This is Wednesday.
Okay.
He's got done eating tacos, yep. We were sitting on the couch, and Rosalio hadn't even gotten out of his work clothes yet, because we just went to go get food.
Okay.
And we were watching Songland, and he said to me, he says to me, he's like, is this okay? He's like, to watch, or do you want to watch something else? I'm like, no, this is fine, you know? So we watched an episode of Songland. And then he's like, well, we'll just watch this episode, and then I'll go take a shower. I'm like, okay. Well, when we got back, he's like, is it hot in here? And he opened up the screen door that's there, you know, and he just opened up like this far. We were there, and left the blinds closed. And then before he went to go in the shower, he's like, oh, I'm just gonna close this, you know, or whatever. And then I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And so he closed it and locked it, and then he took a shower. They stayed on the couch and just watched the show or whatever. I don't know what time was that. So then we get a text message from Zach, and I want to say, no, it might have been from that stupid murder. Oh my God. I believe all of this stuff. It must have been from the burner phone. He sent me a text message that was what Rosalio said to me. Like, literally his words, what he said. Do you want to watch this, or is there something else you want to watch? And Zach texted to me. And I texted him back and I said something like, you know, like what are you talking about? Like, oh, was that for the wrong person again or something like that? And he texted me back, yes. There it is. Okay. So that Wednesday, and it was 9:08 p.m. Like I said, Rosalio I had just gotten done eating. It was about 9 o'clock by the time we were done eating. And I looked at my phone, and the text message from Zach came in that said, and it's after 9, just arrive after the kids go to bed, ? So I thought, okay, he clearly knows I'm here, and he thinks that I just got here, and he thinks that Rosalio has his kids, and that the kids are in bed. Like, that's how I'm taking it at that point, right? Like, okay, he thinks I'm here. And I don't respond. And then at 9:36, so about 30 minutes later, he says, is this okay for now, or is there something else you want to watch, ? So that was 9:36, would have been about the time that we were done eating and watching the show. Now the window would have been open, right? And if he was outside, he would have heard him say that to me. I mean, that would have been clear. So, I did tell Rosalio about that on Wednesday because then I texted him at like 11, like, are you texting the wrong person again? And he didn't respond actually back. And then I'm like, are you following me? What is going on? Like, that was just way too weird that like he used, because I'm like, why are you texting me? Is that what you want to watch? Like, I just thought I wasn't putting it together, and then I'm like, wait a second, that's what Rosalio said to me, like, and then so I told Rosalio, and he's like, what the hell? He's like, this dude, what is going on? He's like, he's really like, I mean, I probably a text message from him too, just kind of like saying, like, what is it with this dude? And like, I don't know. I don't know, I can't.
Good.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Talking through.
You're done. You want some tissue? Maybe just some tissue.
It's too much.
Thank you, Alex.
Oh.
Yep.
That was this girl. Yeah, but that's what, the problem is, she's told me. I'll take care of it. Yeah, we don't have a box, so.
No, it's all right.
Times are tough right now.
Just weird stuff. But I've been telling Rosalio the whole time, and and he's just like, thank you for being honest with me and just telling me what's going on. Like, I just, I just want you to know because it's weird and I'm scared and whatever. And then, I don't know, and then Rosalio's just been so good about staying in contact, like we just talk several times a day. I mean, he'll call me, he'll text me, usually good morning all the time, or if he does it in the morning, then at least in the afternoon or something.
Okay. What is Zachariah? Zachar.
I.
And what's his last name again?
Anderson. That's all. He's so smart though, like it's, I don't know the right word, just not.
Is it the Greenfield police that were involved with that Christmas incident?
With Christmas? No, that was in Germantown where I live.
Germantown, sorry.
Oh my God. I had such a bad feeling last night. I just didn't bother him after he said he was gonna go see a friend, and I just thought, he'll text me when he gets home, and then I didn't hear from him that night, which I thought was kind of weird. But then I thought, okay, well, he'll text me in the morning, like maybe, he'll text me in the morning or something. He's a guy, and I've only known him for a couple months, so but then that morning, I still didn't get a text, and I'm like, what's going on? And then that afternoon, I sent him a text.
So the last time you talked to him was what?
Was Saturday at midnight when I left. And he said, text me when you get home. And I said, I'd text him when I got home.
Saturday at midnight?
At midnight, because I got home about 1:09-ish or a little after 1. And because all the detours, everything was closed. Yeah. And like, the detours suck, and I sent him that on Saturday. Saturday, yeah, early Sunday morning, Saturday when I got home. And then Sunday, I sent him a meme, and then he texted me, good morning.
What time is that? Meme. Why do you spell meme?
At 1:25 a.m. I said detours suck, and that was on Sunday. And then I sent him a meme at like 10:30, and then he sent me back, good morning, Dave. That was at 10:54. And he was with the kids, and he's like, we're just waking up. And I didn't say that name, but and then I just said I really enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Thanks for inviting me. And he said it was nice to wishes his daughter open up with you. So we just had some conversation that Sunday afternoon a little bit, and then at like 1:30 or like 2 o'clock I said, Amy, are you okay? Because I felt bad because I thought, well, maybe he wanted me to stay, and I just kind of felt like it was the first.
Sunday?
This was on 2 o'clock on Sunday, yeah.
2 p.m. Sunday?
Yeah.
You quit texting back?
No. I texted him at 2, like we were texting back and forth in the afternoon on Sunday. But I was just checking in with him, and like, this is our last conversation though. Was 1:52, I just texted him and said, hey, are you okay? Because like I said, I thought maybe he was like kind of mad that I didn't stay overnight and that I didn't want him to like, so it was just like, are you okay? Checking in, that was at 1:52.
PM?
Yep. And then he said, yeah, I'm good. Why do you ask? And I said, I'm just checking in, babe. And he said, that's twice now that he's like, are you having second thoughts? Because there was another time I checked in with him and he was like, oh yeah, I'm just, a little worried about you. He's like, how did you know? And I said, I don't know, I just had to, you just tell him you were quiet or whatever. He's like, yeah, he's like, I'm just worried about you. And that was like a while ago. So this was what he was referring to. That's twice now that I asked him. And then I said, no, I was actually thinking about us a lot today. And he's like, what about us? And that was at 2. And so this was all like around the 2 back and forth. And then my last text with him was, he said, what about us? And I said, just that I think we could have a lot of fun, all of us. And I think our kids would get along great. And I think that I want you to be my person for a while. And then he said, loved that whole thing. And then I said, I think it's going to be challenging, of course, but I think we could survive, I hope, anyway. And he said, it will be challenging, but as long as we communicate and stay honest, we will be fine. And then that was like 2:30. And then 4:46, he texted me and said, this rain is crazy. It's like Mother Nature telling Wisconsin you don't know how to act with warm weather and virus. And I texted back to him, I said, it is. Laugh out loud. And I said, and then that was at like 4:52. He called me at about 8:30. And he called my phone and I missed the call. And I texted him and I said, hi hon, I said, getting the boys out of the tub. I'll call you back in a little bit. And then he texted me back at, a minute later and said, okay, no worries. I just got going over to Mike's for a little bit. And I don't know Mike. I just assume he's a friend of his. And I said, okay, cool. I said, well, then maybe text me or bring me when you leave there or something. And then at 8:36, he texted me back, okay. I guess normally you would say, okay, babe, but okay, it's fine again. And Monday, I text him at 12:11 because like I said, I thought, I worked and did my thing that morning and just thought, okay, maybe he got up early to do this on a job site. He'll text me like at on his lunch. And I said, hey you, it's another rainy day. Hope your day is going well. And then I didn't hear anything. And then at 2:30, I texted him kind of a goofy face. And then I didn't hear anything. And then 5:30, I said, babe, is everything okay? I haven't heard from you all day. Just let me know you're okay. And then at 8:30, I said, no, I'm worried. And I still haven't heard, but I called him in between here and like actually called his phone and it went straight to voicemail. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. And then I even tried calling like on Messenger because it won't talk like, that way. And no answer, nothing. And then this morning at 7:30, I just woke up and I just said, babe, what's going on? And I had it in my head that if I didn't hear from him, I was just going to go to his house. Like, I would do to anybody just to go check on them. And just, and then I'm like, well, is he ghosting me? Like, right, like, I kind of walking through all my scenarios, and then I text my friend Becky, and I'm like, I haven't heard from Leo all, day, and she's like, that's weird, and she's like, have you heard from Zach? And I'm like, a little bit here and there, and she's like, I'm worried, and I'm like, I don't think, I'm like, no, I'm like, I don't know, I'm like, it's just weird. And then she's like, well, if you don't hear from him, she's like, what would be 24 hours? And I said 8:30 tonight, and that would have been yesterday. And she's like, well, if you don't hear from him, then you need to, call somebody or do something. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, I don't know his people. I don't know how would I call. I have no idea. I'm not even connected to any of his friends. We don't have any mutual friends on Facebook. Like, I wouldn't even know who to reach out to, So this morning, I remembered, like, he had that friend, Jeremy Kipp, and he said, it's like my brother, he's like my buddy, he's like, and he's talked about him before, going on job sites with him before. And so I just reached out to him. I still haven't heard from him. But I just messaged him and I just said, hey, I said, I know you don't know me, but Rosalio told me you guys are really good friends. I was just wondering if you have heard from him. I haven't heard from him. It's not like him. If you have, can you just let me know, or something, And that was that was this morning that I reached out to his friend. I haven't had like any contact with his kids' mothers, so like I think they love me. They don't,
So when you got to Rosario's house, you went to the front door.
So then I parked down the ways because when I first pulled into so I pulled off of 15th into on that end, right? And I could see right away when I pulled in, I could see his truck was parked in this usual spot, and then his Jeep was parked in the usual spot. And I was on the phone with my friend, and I'm like, Doc, both of his cars are here, both of his trucks are here. I'm like, this is weird. I'm like, I'm like really I was freaking out the whole time. Just like, something's wrong.
Okay.
Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Just, it's not like him. It's not like him. Something's wrong. I don't know why he would ghost me, and I kept going through that. I'm like, well, maybe, would he just not talk to me? And she's like, no, see. She's like, I said, this was the last text message we had. I'm like, she's like, was there anything weird? She's asking me all these. I'm like, no. I'm like, we didn't fight about anything. This was a great, this is what he probably wanted to hear, Which again makes me think, like, if you have access to my phone, this would have been probably like, I don't know. Anyways, I just had the feeling that and then like something's not right. And then I'm like, okay, got Sadie on the phone with me. And then I started walking up towards his truck, and then I saw the screen door was open. Like the blinds were open all the way, and the screen door was open all the way, like all the way. And I looked at that and like, do I go up? And I didn't go up to there first, and I just went into to the doorway where I would normally go into the apartment building. And I told Becky, so I'm gonna let you go. I'm like, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna I'll knock on the door. She goes, okay, call me back. So I walked up to the door, and immediately, where the wall is to the door, I saw brown splatter on the wall, and I'm like, I wasn't there before. I would have noticed that on Saturday. I was just there, and we just walked in. We used that entrance to walk in from getting tacos. And then I saw little spots on the door, on this red door, but they were dark spots. And then some drops on the floor. And then I'm like, so I knocked on the door really hard, and I called his name, and I knocked again, and called his name, and then I turned the door handle, and it was locked. And then I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, something's not right. I don't know. And I'm scared because I don't really want to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it. It's not a position you want to walk in on.
So I just kind of stood outside for a little bit. Like I said, I noticed that truck that went by a couple times, and what's going on? I called my friend, and it just said, something's weird is happening. Something's bad. Something doesn't feel right. And I said, I don't want to go in. And she's like, you have to, or you have to at least do something. And just, his door's wide open. He wouldn't leave it. So I knocked on the window.
Which friend were you talking to?
Rebecca, Becky. She's my best friend.
Rebecca what?
She knows about all of this.
What's her last name?
Jaeckel, Jaeckel. She's got the boys right now. I just knocked on the window, and then I called him. Rosalio just called him. And I know he's got that little piece of the blind that was open, so I knocked on the door, and I looked in, and it wasn't in bed or anything, so I'm like, okay, maybe he's in a bathroom or something. I just kept knocking on Rosalio. And I'm like, okay, fuck it, I'm just gonna open up the door. So I slid the door open.
The main door, the glass?
No, the screen. And then I just pushed the blinds aside, and I saw the big puddle of blood on the floor, and I just backed up, and I closed it, and then I called her, and I'm like, oh my God, there's a lot of blood. And she's like, you have to call 911. I'm like, I know, okay. And then I did, and they're so...
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing, Sadie? We're almost done.
All right.
It's a long.
Sorry, it is long. It's just a lot of parts to it.
Yeah, but we made through it.
Yeah, and we very much appreciate your coming back down here and, you know, helping us out with this. I'm sorry to interrupt first, but how often have you been to this place there?
Like every other week, kind of.
Okay.
Enough. Like, I've slept over there, and we make dinner together, and...
Can you describe?
Well, I've never tried out. I've never tried.
Okay.
I get back here.
Yeah, I noticed things were, like, when I looked in
Right.
there and they were walking around, I'm like, this isn't the way it was.
Right.
Like, this isn't the way he would have it, or,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I'll draw it out and
Sure. Yeah, we thought the same thing. Things were moved around in there, and
It was weird. It was, like,
was it completely like?
so,
Well, we'll go through it. He's gonna draw a
Yeah.
sketch, and we'll go through it. Okay.
it's just odd, just not,
It helps us with evidence if something was moved. We need to know so we can, you know what I mean. So you saw Tom you walked out and called us. Okay.
yeah. I mean, and then when you came, I just, told you that
Sure.
exactly what I did and what I said, and I was scared to go in, and when I called, I said, should I go in and check to see if he's even in there? And I called 911, and then she's like, well, you can if you want, but and if you're scared, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm scared, like, I don't know, just, I can't unsee that,
Right.
all of it, and now I'm like, this all,
All right, I'm gonna print this out. Have you read it? It's fairly long, all right? I didn't proofread it at all, so there's probably 600 spelling mistakes, but I apologize. And then we'll do the map, and then I just need to talk a little bit, right?
yeah,
Um,
she's something else.
yeah.
So she is, I'm just gonna say, she's got no, like, she never met him. So it may seem a little cold.
No, I understand. She has no ties to him, has no
No.
connection, so
No.
I get it. I mean, we do this a lot.
Okay, I know.
I completely understand.
I didn't really give her a lot of information because, again, like.
Well, she doesn't need to know either.
Right,
I'm not
you're
gonna tell her.
protecting your
I'm not-
kids from, just, you want to make sure that this is a right person, right?
I mean, and I want statements to be 100% genuine, which is why I'm not providing much to you. I want to know what you know and what you can tell me without tainting anything.
Yeah,
And that's the best way to get information. So
absolutely.
we haven't found him. We haven't found him. And obviously we have to keep an open mind, but at the same time we have to go in the directions that we can follow. Okay. How big is Zach?
I don't know, like, kind of fluctuates between probably like 180 and 200. He said he lost a lot of weight or whatever.
What does he do for a living?
He's not a fairly big guy, but he likes to fight. And
He does. Yeah.
And he's pretty proud of being good at it, and has bragged about it in the past. Likes to talk about fighting. Likes to talk about things like that.
Good.
It's too violent for me. It's just too much. Like, that's why we aren't together. It's just too much. And I was always afraid that, he'd take it too far with me sometime. And that was part of the reason why I said no more. Like, I don't want it to get to a point where,
Think he's capable of doing this to somebody? Don't answer that. It's fine. All right, let me go get this, we'll print it off, and I'll go through the apartment with you, okay? I've just done a drawing. And,
I can hope not. I really do. I mean, that's horrible. But I don't know, this all doesn't look good. I mean,
you thoroughly looked through your vehicle for this tracking device?
I looked, like, I had my mechanic friend come over and he looked like under the car and he went under the truck and went in the engine and we looked under batteries.
It
And,
looks pretty small on its way.
And he even said, he's like, they even come smaller. He's like, we got them on our trucks and, he's like, they're hard to detect if you don't know.
You can stick them in the air filter and hide them.
There could be in my house. I don't know.
Right.
It's a GPS one, but I think it has like the ability to listen. So, I don't know. Rosalio doesn't always lock his doors. I know like he would leave that open once in a while.
Since Sunday afternoon, we're sending Sunday night, right? 8:36. Have you heard from Zach?
So last night I texted him something about like, are you hacking my phone? Like, what is going on? I'm like, someone said you're in my phone calls. I'm like, you need to stop this. Please stop following me. Just please stop all of this. This is too much. And then we had a little bit of a conversation and, he doesn't want to really talk about that. You always accuse me of stalking you and this. And I'm like, weird things are happening. This is what's going on, but, I honestly didn't think, I don't know, I don't know.
You don't know where this house in West Dallas is?
No clue.
Okay.
No clue. He said West Dallas, and then he said Greenfield one time. But West Dallas, he said. West Dallas, Greenfield. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know.
Do you have a pen? Did you give me a pen? Oh. All right, I'll let you read through that and then I'll come back in a couple minutes.
Sorry, it's 3 pages long. I thought but I'm gonna give you a pen too, because if there's something misspelled or it's something I need to change, just circle it. I'm just gonna open up. So Dee's gonna come in here and go over the house. I'm gonna talk as soon as we get you guys out of here, okay? And we gotta get the messages up.
She wants to talk to her dad so bad too, and I'm trying to keep her, and I don't know how to I told her, we have to be honest, somebody could be hurt, somebody's dad, I'm trying to get at her from that angle, we just want to find him, just want to figure out, whatever. I'm you might have some missing puzzle pieces that, I don't know about, maybe you can help figure it out.
She's
And then
13, right?
She's 12.
12.
Yeah, and she kept saying, Mom, I know stuff, Mom. And I'm just
She wouldn't tell you that?
please wait. Well, she did a little bit, but I don't know. I just want her to tell you guys, I don't.
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna talk to her.
I don't know. She'll probably tell me some stuff, she told me about the registration. She told me about the video taping, and she told me to change my password. She told me that he hacked into her school. computer. She told me, you know, he can hack. Then she told me on the drive here that he can pick locks. I said, how do you know? She said, well, because he lost his key to his house and he picked his house lock. Okay. He asked her for the house key, which I took from her just now. She's like, oh, Mom, I found the house key. I'm like, did Dad ever ask you for it? She's like, yeah. I'm like, when? And she's like, not that long ago. And I'm like, why didn't you give it to him? And she goes, because I told him he didn't have a reason to have it. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, do you think he took it and made a copy? And she's like, no. Okay. But I'm moving.
I'm gonna, I'll get back to that once
Yes.
Detective Vinny's done with the diagram, okay? I'm gonna grab, if it's cool with you, and sit down and have a conversation, okay? So first thing, up on the computer.
The work corrections you said? Oh, okay. Take your time.
This is rosalio. Sorry. That's rosalio.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm changing on all these.
Here's the Germantown Police Department.
One second.
So with most of all the contacts, Germantown Police Department. On the second page, so it's like not, there's just one little line that says I reported this to Greenfield Police. Should be Germantown.
Do you know what Zach's account is on Amazon? Think he knows login stuff?
No, it was just on it was the app that was on the burner phone. And so I'm just like, I just had a feeling like he's tracking me. There's way too many coincidences that he knows where I'm going or when I'm going or where, if I'm leaving or that I don't come home at night. And then, oh, well, I have people that drive by and tell me that you're not at home.
Have you checked your car?
I did. I had a mechanic friend look it over and took it over. I just didn't take it into like a place.
Right.
But the fact that I found this burner phone in my car, I'm like, well, if you had a tracking device on me,
Oh, so you
Why
just
would
found
you
the
put a burner
random
phone
car was
in
under,
there?
under the seat or something?
yeah, you put it under the
So you could just
car
track on the
seat.
burner phone?
He used the burner phone to track, yeah, the third burner phone that he had, because I had already had the second burner phone that he had given to my daughter.
Gotcha.
I know, it's confusing and it's a mess.
Is that third page?
Yes.
You can just tell me now.
Third page Germantown, not again, not Greenfield. I didn't really walk in, I just opened the blinds. The last kind of bottom, I opened the blinds. I didn't even step in, I just opened the blinds, pulled them to the side, and I looked in, and then I saw a ton of blood on the floor, and I just closed the blinds.
Okay, where was that? Somebody checked on all?
Last page, right at the bottom.
Yeah.
It said I stepped in, and I didn't step in.
Okay, so I opened the
I
blinds.
just opened the blinds, and I saw a ton of blood, and closed everything, closed the door, closed the blind, you know, just closed the door back up.
All right. Sadie, what's your birthday, ma'am? And your middle initial?
Jay?
And the last one.
Beacham, B-A-C-H-A-M, sorry.
No, it's fine. And your address? And the phone number? And current employer? And that's out of Germantown as well?
I work out of my one office. But I've been working from home since
Sure.
March
No, that's fine.
16th or whatever that was.
And approximately what time were you at the house? 11 o'clock?
Today?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got there about 10:30. I dropped off the boys and then I just said I'm just driving, if nothing else, I'll just drive and turn around and just check and make sure you're okay. Like, you know, that was like the whole thing was okay, you know? What time?
No, that's it. It's fine.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. You're all right. No, it's all right.
I was on the phone with Becky. Because, yeah, just this morning I texted her and...
All right, we're good. All right, so just the Rosalio and then the Germantown things, and then at the end?
So 11, 19, 11-ish, like that, 11, 15-ish, or something like that. 11. I'm sorry, what did you ask me? What did you say?
I don't know.
Sorry.
You're all
I
right.
know, it's fine.
Trying to- Print this out again.
When I went back and I told said, you know, my friend, you know, I can't find my friend, you know, my friend is missing, and, you know, she knows his name, obviously. And the first thing she said is, call Dad. Where's Dad? I need to find Dad.
So, that being said,
She knows.
do you talk to him? Like, if you call, would he answer?
Right now? Maybe?
So if you called him and said, what did you do? Like,
I know.
as of right now, everything's leading towards him being kind of a stalker.
Somehow.
Yeah, I'm not saying he did it, but if there was one lead that we had, it would probably be if he was tracking, you know, if he threw a phone in Rosalio's car or he did something, who knows, you know?
Right.
Would you be willing to do that?
Sure.
Okay. We
I
might
mean,
consider
I just
that.
don't know, if, you know, he's gonna be like, what are you talking about? He's very smart, telling you. He uses my words and twists them around all the time. I mean, like, I'm like, I didn't even say that, you know, or
Sure.
just, I mean, it's very narcissistic.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
manipulating.
Mm-hmm. Or,
What do you,
yeah.
so if you called him and were like, what did you do? And then, what are you talking about? You're like, where's Rosalio type thing, but do
Yeah.
you think he'd be like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about? Or you think he'd be like,
I honestly don't know. I'm surprised that, like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I kind of wanted to. Like, I kind of wanted to be like, what the fuck's going on? What? Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he'll tell me. I don't know if he'll tell me anything. I don't know if he'll say, you know, what are you talking? I don't know. Yes, I'll do it.
okay,
I don't know what. I don't know if he'll answer. I don't even know if he knows that I'm here, like if he's tracking. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what he can hear. I don't know what he can't. It's weird that you heard a conversation that, unless you were sitting outside of the window, which you very well could have been that night.
Did you file a report then?
Which one?
Most recent time.
The one that Wednesday where
So I'm not familiar exactly.
I didn't really file, so I had contacted the Germantown Police Department over the course of the last couple of weeks because I had a feeling like he was tracking me. I found this phone, I found the other phone, and these were the two ladies, the sergeant and the other officer with stuff. And so I just reached out to them because they were already on the case, and I said, I know this isn't really related, but I'm having issues with, Zach, and anyways, before all of this, I said, and I feel like he's tracking me or something's going on. And they're like, well, we can help you. We can either put a video camera outside the house or, whatever. And then I said, well, where would a tracking device be? And I found that he purchased these tracking. I don't know if maybe it's on it, and they said, well, here's where we would put it, or, here's a place. They said, really just go and take it in somewhere and have somebody look it over. But then she said, well, the scary part is we did that once, and, they disconnected the battery and reconnected the freaking tracking device and had no idea it was the tracking device. I'm like, oh, great. So I don't know much about that. So I just kind of been keeping them in the loop and then just documenting. And so I have at home, I have written, I probably should have it. But I just have just these last kind of things written down about the burner phone, and she's been telling me, and because she's not, would you tell somebody, and what you, and she's like, I don't want to get in the middle of you, she's a kid.
How old is she?
12. And she's just so torn,
Sure.
I mean, I can't imagine.
Okay. Let me go get that paper real quick. So here's that's basically the ones you had, we changed everything. If you can sign and date in the lower right of all of them, appreciate that. Actually, no, before we do that. All right, so if you just come into the layout, so we're going to do this layout kind of as you're walking in the door from the hallway. All right, is that easy for you, or do you want to come in the patio door?
It doesn't matter, I guess. Yeah, I can come in from the main door.
Okay.
Okay.
So he's
the
got...
kitchen's over here. Yeah.
Yep, so here's the kitchen.
Yeah.
Then he's got the couch,
Yeah.
futon type couch.
Mhm.
He has a white, like a little table, two tables.
Yep,
There.
it slides together.
Is that usually right here as well?
Nope, it's in the middle. There's a rug right here.
Okay. What does this rug look like?
It's gray, kind of stripes, grayish, gray stripes-ish.
This is
It's got a pattern on it, stripe type pattern, not stripes, but some type of stripe pattern on it. Gray. We used to trip on it when we danced in the living room.
So it's is it all gray with a light gray and a dark gray stripe or thing?
Yeah, that kind of thing. Kind of had a lip up that would trip on it or whatever, pull the...
Okay, so this...
And then the tables were usually right in front of the couch. On this rug. On this rug.
So right over here.
Yeah, on the rug. In front of the couch, on the rug.
Okay.
And...
Okay, so then he's got a cabinet here.
Yeah.
With the TV.
Yep.
Then another white cabinet.
All of that looked all right.
All right, table's kind of
Pushed back. That's what I noticed. It looked weird over there. So typically the table is right in closer to the end of this in the last chair. So when we sat for dinner on Saturday, sat here, I sat here, sat there, and then Rosalio sat here. Over to this side, but the table is moved all the way over here. It's not up against the wall, or
yeah.
there's usually like a, her Barbie dollhouse is there. There's a bike that hangs right above that, and then usually he's got kind of like a pile of clothes or something that, clothes or the kids' clothes or something, and then like sometimes there's like work equipment over there. I don't know. I don't really look like at all that stuff, but I just know that the table was definitely moved over this way, and when I looked in, the table was pushed back, and the chair that he usually has his coat on, or that's like right there at this here, was over here. Well, you have it right there, that chair. And that was, and that's usually there. And everything else is moved. Yeah. And I didn't see anything else, so I don't know what the rest of the house looked like. I mean, I know what his house looks like in the bedroom and everything, but,
Okay, so you immediately noticed that the kitchen or the dining table was out of place?
And then,
I'm gonna stick
Yeah.
with it real quick, I'm sorry. It
Yeah.
was like pushed back
pushed back,
and
the chair was, just out of place. It was not where it usually is.
so it was usually at the end of
The table.
the table.
And the table is usually all the way there. And there's chairs around it.
So the table was at the end of the wall.
All the way to the end of the wall?
By this, it's like right towards the end.
Yeah. No, I'm saying you guys found the table all the way to the end of that wall? Or
There may have been
There's
some stuff back here, yeah.
Saturday, like,
Did you notice the rug? That if this rug was there still, or that this was moved, did you notice any of this?
yeah, I told you guys, like, so when I went back to the car, because when I was looking in, I was looking in, it looked plain, it just looked different when I looked in anyway, and when you guys had gotten there a little bit, not you particularly, but the first two that arrived, I looked in and I'm like, this is not right, something's not right, like, all of this isn't right. And then I didn't notice the rug right away, but it was like something was missing, and I'm like, there's something missing, and then they sent me out to the car, and then I like was talking to Becky, and I'm like, a rug, and I just like, it just popped in my head, and then I just ran out to you guys, and I'm like, there was a rug on the floor, there was a rug, a gray rug in his house, there's a rug right in the middle. Sorry, my head is just
No, that's fine. Take your time.
racing right now. The tables were moved over all the way. His work belt was sitting right in front of the patio door there. That's weird. It wouldn't have been just sitting right there. And it was empty. There was nothing in it. There was maybe like, I don't know, I saw like a tool or something next to it. And then like that table was there. And then I could see like a couple of blood splatters on that table. And his wallet was on the couch. It like perfectly upside down ish weird. And I'm like, that must be his wallet? That's his wallet? And one of the officers lifted it up and kind of looked and put it back down. The blanket was perfectly folded at the end of the couch. Like if he would have been hanging out or like got home and would have been hanging out on the couch, that Cubs blanket would have been all goofed up or whatever, but like it was perfectly folded. That pillow was perfectly set like up there. He's not that neat. Like,
Can I ask, is he normally tidy like that, or?
not really. I mean, he'd probably fold the blanket up, but and then there was a beer. He drinks Coronas pretty typically, and I noticed a beer bottle sitting, and I said, that's his beer bottle. I'm sure of it. He drinks Corona or whatever, and it was sitting on this TV stand.
Okay.
And then the officer mentioned that the air freshener thing was on, but it's almost always on every time I go there. He's got that running.
Okay.
I don't know how many hours it runs for.
Yeah, I think unless you have a timer on it, it kind of runs as long as it's on, unless you have a timer or something that can move it.
Yeah, I don't know. The TV was on.
Can you, so where the freshener thing is, what else is normally on there?
Like, so there's the freshener, and then he's got like the scents that are like right next to it. And then there's a bowl where like he would normally throw his keys. Yeah, there's a bowl there that you normally throw his keys and like, you know, like a knife or something, you know, like a, just stuff, keys, junk, with like a junk thing, pile thing. It's just kind of like, you know, your place where you throw your keys and you go in. And
can you tell me if you know, as far as, do you remember there being a bunch of like small rocks and things like that up in that area?
yeah, so the little rocks that were on there, we had just decorated those on Saturday with the kids. We had just made those. We were decorating them with the markers. And those were still sitting there.
Do you ever recall there being like a larger one? Like a purple colored one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what was that? Was there any significance about that?
We were playing with it, like, oh, I found this one, and she was gonna write on it that night when we were on Saturday. She's gonna write on it, and, yeah. And the markers wouldn't show up on the purple because it's so dark. And she's like, no, no, no. I'm like, well, let's just go outside and we'll get a couple little tiny rocks that are clean, and then, you know, our bright markers will show up on it. And I don't know, she put it back or something. And then she showed me a couple of other rocks that they found. They found like one that looked like kind of an Easter egg that they just found. And that's kind of what prompted us to start making them and do that. And then she's like, no, I'm keeping this one. And,
But the rocks are usually all there on that thing, on that shelving cabinet thing, or they're usually
on
this little,
they were on this table.
on the white table?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were like, they were on the white table. I think retrieved the rock from the dresser or something that was over by the TV stand. You know, that kind of entertainment stuff. He's got all sorts of stuff on there.
Stuff.
So, yeah, she's just showing all the stuff she made, and
where does he usually keep his, like that plastic thing for the shoes?
plastic thing for the shoes.
Normally you find like
Oh,
walk on the floor.
so, yeah, like his work boots, there is that little rubber, plastic, black thing that's usually by the couch. So there's a door, so it's right by the couch, usually there. And then he's got like
Right inside
buckets
the door.
behind with like
Yeah.
signs in it. And then, yeah, right by the door, there's a couple of shoes, and then that black thing that he usually puts his boots on. And then I usually take my shoes off right there too.
It's usually flat on the ground next to the couch there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's usually got like pro boots on it, or some shoes, some slides or something.
Anything else, your immediate?
Oh, that, just from what I saw.
Okay. Yeah, and that's understandable. And that was the main thing. I just wanted to kind of get this chart area from what you had seen, so we can say, hey, this is displaced, this is misplaced. All right, I'm right back. I'll be right back.
Mama,
Okay.
I have to ask you a question. Am I allowed to talk about the pot?
What?
Like, am I allowed to say that Dad had it in California and stuff?
You know,
They already did.
because he got caught.
Okay, well,
What are you trying to say?
I think there was stuff about, in California that he had guns.
You know about it?
Yeah,
I don't.
he had an unregistered gun. California to keep on pot safe.
Really?
Am I allowed to talk about that? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I think just that you know about it.
there's
Unregistered.
something I know that you guys don't know.
Whatever we need to.
I'm not trying to get Dad all the way in trouble.
It's
Not about that anymore.
It's not. It's not. We want to make sure everybody's safe, and including your dad. You know, I mean, I don't want your dad hurting himself or doing something weird, right? Or coming after us with unregistered gun. I think you should.
Yeah.
I think you just be as honest as you
I
can.
know,
with it all.
I said that I had to come and ask you first before I said
And
it.
it's okay. You just, I think, you know, they already know it's not yours.
All the other ones are just so silly, you know? Are we gonna go back home tonight?
Yeah, no, we'll probably see my grandma, grandpa,
Yeah, okay.
or go by Becky's and the boys. I need to be with the boys. Look at the boys. So maybe we'll stay at Becky's or something. Just for the night. I don't know. I don't know right now. I'm
I
really
hate
scared.
being in this position. You know, it was like that when you were out of town. And I was in this position when you guys were out of town.
Yeah.
This is some scary stuff.
How
I
about-
was in this position when you were out of town, Mom. And you did this type of thing.
No, it's not
And
right.
you stayed with him.
No, it's not
You
right.
ended up staying with him. You better not let that happen.
Baby girl, this is why I'm here. I'm just trying to make sure that we are protected. It's not okay. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm scared too. I'm scared that
I was just waiting out there for individual things.
it's gonna come out. I don't know. Your dad's
That's
crazy.
my question. I just
Son, yeah, you can tell him what you need to. Please just be honest, baby girl.
Love you.
I love you.
Bye.
And see you in a few minutes. Oh. Got you. That was, okay. I get it. I get it. I don't know what number that was. Yeah.
Hey. Are you texting?
No, I'm just looking. I can't, I don't have service.
No, just fill all the paperwork out.
Did you?
No, I don't have to.
Good.
It's at his house. At home at his house.
Oh, that's their drawing.
I made this thing while I was just sitting there. I was so bored. I was just like, okay. They at least have a phone that you can play a game on or something.
I want to get back to Grandma Mimi. She's been, poor lady's been sitting out there. I needed her in here. It's okay.
I'm hungry.
I'm scared.
What are you scared of, Mom?
Your dad. No shit. Like legit.
It's a cute picture of us. We don't need him around to have a nice life.
Cool.
Dad.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to just do what we needed to do. And, that's what I always do, just do what we need to do. This is too much. This is too much. This is way too much, babe. This is way too much.
Why don't we call Dad? And because he wants me to check in with him every day. And what if there's like background noise that we can hear or something?
Because we're not detectives, babe.
No.
Because this is serious. Because we can't just call Dad without direction.
Well, it's not you, it's me, and I'm not gonna say anything. And I could just say, hey Dad, it's just me checking in.
This is one of those moments where like,
Yeah. No, but it's a good idea because then if someone is in the background, then you can hear like them going, or you can hear them scream or something.
I know,
It's not
I
that,
appreciate you thinking this is bigger.
yeah, Mom,
But we have to let the professionals do their job. We're not the detectives. You're not the problem solver, baby. You know, I mean, I know, I hear you. I don't, I don't think Dad is with him, sweetheart.
what do you think he is?
Hurt.
Where?
Don't know. And maybe not even alive anymore. That scares the fucking shit out of me.
Why do you think Dad did it?
I don't know. I don't know what to think right now. Or did somebody do it? I don't know. Who else? Who else would hurt him? Who else would want to? I don't know.
Maybe he didn't tell you something?
Like what?
I don't know.
He's been honest with me about everything. He's got kids your age. He's not weird like that. He's not all messed up. He's just normal. No. Your dad did something and he's so stupid. I mean, why would he do that and take himself away from you guys even? Like, just stupid. Stupid, stupid. I can't, I don't want to think that, but honey, I don't know right now. I'm so freaked out. You know more than I do even. I don't know. Where are you going? For what? Come here. No, come on, stay here. You need to just wait a second. I don't know. I don't know. I just want to find him.
Where'd you put the purse?
What?
Where's my phone? You had put it in here.
In the car. It doesn't work in here. Nothing works in here.
No, because you can't call anybody or do anything.
No. There's a reason for that. This is serious. I'm not kidding you. Like, if anything's been serious before, this is fucking serious. Like, what's serious? Like, I've never been in this position before. It's fucking freaking me out serious. Like, I don't even want to go back to the house.
Like ever?
No, like, until I know what's going on.
Where would we stay?
I don't know. Talk to them about it. I just want to protect us. I only want to protect you. I don't want your dad trying to come and taking you guys or hurting me or I don't know. I don't know. Your dad is unpredictable, Liv. I don't know. You know that. I have no idea what he is capable of. Anything. I don't know who he knows. I don't know what he does. I don't know how much money. I don't know nothing. I know nothing. But I know shit doesn't add up. Something's wrong. It's not okay. Somebody's hurt. It's not okay. okay. It was just other people. So I don't know. This man is missing, and people don't care about him. Not just me, even. We can't just call Dad. That's not how this works. I don't want to talk to him. I'm scared.
You won't die, but
No, because I'm going to ask him what he did. What the fuck's going on?
why you want to ask about Rosalio to him?
Yeah. Did he do anything? I mean, that's my first freaking thought. He just...
I can ask him.
No, just...
Everybody's like, you can't do anything, you can't do anything.
Because you're a minor. Because you can't. Because you're not an investigator.
Because people don't know the things that I know,
It
Mom.
doesn't matter, though.
Oh my God.
Maybe. Maybe.
People don't know the things that I know.
Maybe. I just said maybe. It's not my call. They have to do their job. You have to let them.
Well, maybe they're not doing the job right then.
You're 12 years old. How are you going to tell police officers how to do their job? Knock it off. This is not a joke. This is no game right now. It's not just like, oh, we can just figure it out and solve the frickin' puzzle. The problem. Just let them do what they have to do, please.
I'm gonna ask the investigator.
Sure, yes, whatever you want.
I have to go pee. I'll be back.
Can you please ask?
Yeah, I'm going to.
So that's, yeah.
How? You're right to the bathroom.
Oh, where's this house you bought? In Greenfield?
West Dallas, Greenfield, somewhere? Hold on.
Yeah, it's a Greenfield, but
She might know more than I do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he's slipped up and said West Dallas and Greenfield both. So maybe it's on a border or something or some.
all right.
Well, Dallas doesn't hit Greenfield, maybe Greendale. Is it Greendale possibly?
I don't know that area very well. I'm not
Greenfield is more
really-
south of Franklin, or like southwest of Franklin, Oak Creek.
Too many other houses? Has he got rental properties and stuff? Oh, he
It
does.
does.
He's here.
Yeah,
Is he
my
by
brother
foreclosure?
lives in one.
Is he buy foreclosures or how does he?
He used to. He would buy like a condo. Yeah, like
Mhm.
you know, he's got a couple of those, and then they like were bad. Like he didn't look. They had liens on him,
Sure.
and then they took him to court, and so he had been in court cases with them. But he still has the one that my brother lives in, that he rents to my brother.
Mhm.
And that's kind of a weird thing. And then he bought my old condo that we used to live in.
Mhm.
He bought that off of auction when it went to foreclosure.
Mhm.
And it's a weird thing because the title is like we never changed the title over, so we couldn't find it. So it's technically in my name, but he owns it.
Sure.
Weirdly enough, so there's that property,
Mhm.
and then this one I don't know. Is it Greenfield that Dad said, or West Dallas is what he told me. But he did say
Yeah, how
Greenfield.
confident are you in where this house is?
Well, I know the girl, your friends live in Greenfield, so you're familiar with Greenfield and hearing that, but I don't.
Greendale, not Greendale.
Greenfield.
Yeah, and he didn't say Greendale. When he said it, he said Greenfield or West Dallas Greenfield, like, what do you care about?
So is he buying that house as a rental property or buying it for himself?
Buying it for himself. He bought it because right after he goes to jail, he's gonna move into it for probation. After he does probation, because he doesn't want anybody at his house in West Dallas.
So he did say that he wanted to have his probation time. He was gonna get a house somewhere in Milwaukee, but because of everything going on, he's not disclosing to me anything because, you know,
He's going to jail?
mad. Again, that, I don't know. So now,
Yes.
so he thinks that they're going to probably not give him any time, but maybe like 2 weeks, he was told.
Sure.
And then he'll be able to do the rest of his time on probation here.
Gotcha.
Where's he going to jail? In South Dakota?
But yeah, that's where it happened.
Right.
Again, it's all what he's told me. I have no records of anything, so I don't even know like exactly what happened. Like, it's all been what he's told me,
So,
or her, you know.
so everything that you've discussed with me in your statement, obviously it's not normal behavior. I think we're all in agreement to that, right?
I am.
Yeah.
I think he needs to understand that this is not normal.
She does.
Okay.
She does. And
Okay.
she's been great.
Okay.
She's
I know.
She's a very smart little girl. I shouldn't have said
She
little girl.
certainly is.
She doesn't like being called that.
I know.
A young adult. How's that?
Big,
Yeah, she's very smart.
big.
That
freaks me out. That's Rosalia's phone ring.
So, we have more than enough to charge stalking, okay? And I think we should proceed with that. Reason being, you know, obviously this isn't gonna get any better. He's going,
I know. I couldn't prove anything. That was the
I
problem. Like,
I think we have more than enough to prove.
I know. I didn't want to.
I know,
Is there a way that I could call my father?
not right now. We don't want you to do that right now. Why would you wanna call?
I mean, like, not investigating anything, but like, to see if like you could hear anything in the background of it,
Yeah, we're not gonna
like that.
do that right now.
Good idea, though.
Yeah. So, we just have to make sure you're on board with it before we go about it.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely want that
Okay.
piece of things to stop. That's
Right.
been a concern of mine. I mean, I'm, you know, getting to a paranoid point of, you know, of like,
Sure.
where am I go? What, you know, when am I being watched or not watched? And, you know, she's telling me things, you know, it's just not healthy
Right.
all the way around.
You know, everything you've said is she's confirming it, you know what I mean? Without me telling her, she's coming out and telling me she knows all this stuff, and it's, you know, for someone to get stalked is one thing, but then to bring your daughter into it, and I think that
It's my, it's
She
it's
doesn't-
not okay.
well, I
It
think,
wasn't over video that I saw it,
What was it over the video?
where I saw you and Rosalia together.
Okay.
Dad had brought me that night and left the boys at the house
Are you serious?
alone.
Holy shit, are you serious? Oh my god. You can't tell me stuff like that. Oh my god. Okay, so what do we
I think this is important for my model, though.
Baby girl, he can't go over there. He can't have you guys right now. I can't. This isn't right. None of this is okay.
He leaves us alone when we're there. And he comes and watches you when we're there. He leaves in the middle of the night.
Okay, how do I stop this? I've got to do something. I've done what I could to try to place my in custody into place, and I don't know what to do now.
Well, we're gonna force it, okay? We're gonna take some action. I just need your blessing and that you're on board with it.
I'm so scared.
I know you are. I know you are. You've been scared for about 3 months, right?
Longer, probably.
Yeah.
And so, you know, Sadie, it takes a lot of courage on your part, you know, to talk to us, you know, and I think it means a lot that, you know, she can talk to you as well, and I think Mom needs a hug here.
Dad told me not to tell you.
I know.
Why don't you give Mom a hug, huh?
Yeah.
You could put this chair over there if you need.
Give me a minute, I'll give you guys a minute, okay?
My name is just drawn on there. You spelled it.
Oh, yeah.
No, not that one. The other one. I just changed it on them, okay?
That's fine. Put the chair over there if I'm not, you know. You don't have to sit across from me. That's my job.
Something was wrong. God told me stuff like this.
Dad told me not to.
I know, but that's not right. You know right and wrong. You know right and wrong.
I know, Mom.
You're telling the truth now. I just...
It's hard for me to say stuff like that to my mom.
I know, but baby girl, I'm your mom. And I fucking love you so much.
I know, but I knew that you were gonna do something that wasn't gonna be in the police's.
What would I do, baby?
I don't know, go out to him and tell him and say something to him that I told you, and then I would be in trouble with him, and I don't want to be in trouble with him.
Right. I know. I get all of that. I do. And I've been so good at protecting the information that you've given me and just telling Dad that I know because I find out, because I figured it out. Not because you told me, but because I figured it out. And that's how I've been confronting the things that I've been finding out that way.
And what's your address in that?
It's a blue house.
Hold on.
Yeah, you did.
Yep. There's one of the rentals.
Okay. Is that the one your brother's at?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Your brother lives in that one? Okay.
At least they don't mix up our names at this police station. Okay.
Jamie has got to be just.
Is your brother close to that one?
He lives in.
Is he close to him, like,
Yeah, like
personal close to him? I mean, he's known, 12, so he knows them.
Sure.
He
I mean,
talks
is
to
it somewhere
TJ
you-
more because he's been going over to TJ's and like fixing up stuff like that's broken. No, like remember?
Oh yeah,
Dad went
the
over.
fridge,
You guys went over to.
furnace, and
Where are your 4-year-olds right now, you know?
They're with Becky. She's
At her house?
At her house.
Okay.
In Hartford. I just told her to take the kids to her house.
Good idea.
And I will probably go get them and either stay there or go back. I mean, he might know where she lives too, but
he doesn't. I know that. He doesn't know where she lives.
or go to grandma and grandpa's, my dad's.
Yeah, do you want us to put you up somewhere tonight?
I think that's a good idea, Mom. I think that's a good idea, Mom. I think that's a good idea.
I mean, that way,
He doesn't-
for sure, he doesn't know where you guys are.
He knows where Grandma and Grandpa lives, so he can go there.
Of course, he's.
And he can.
Is he charging her phone?
I don't know that. He's hacked into my school account. He's hacked into my school stuff. He's hacked into your phone for sure. I know that.
My phone or email?
All of it.
So,
How do you know he got in my phone?
let me see your phone real quick.
I looked
Is that all
for
of it?
spyware and stuff like that. Oh, let me do that. Is there a, oh yeah.
Just want to check some, see if.
But remember, I told you to change all of your passwords.
And I did.
You can Google Maps on here.
Yeah.
sorry that I had to tell you that way.
As long as you're on.
Good. Well, there's a way to do this.
Is
Become a
it
history?
terminal?
Yeah, your location history.
Yeah.
Give it off.
Oh, you know what it is? I bet.
I mean, there's a million ways to do it with Gmail.
I think I have my
Settings?
actual location off. Does that matter?
No, that's good. No,
Okay. Well then,
with that off, there's no way.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if I go in here, it goes like this: last week, previous searches, and then recent history, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all.
It's not off. It's not on. I mean, is it still where you are?
The location is off right now. I turned it off
Good.
on
That's
our
what I
way
was trying to
here.
check.
Oh, no. I turned it all the way off. On our way here.
But it's like 4 years old now, and everything's changed on phones. So.
Yeah, and I shut her phone off. She's got a flip phone. I shut her phone off, but it's in the car. And then this, I shut off the Wi-Fi. I just have the data on right now.
Okay.
And then I don't have location or anything on. I shut all of that off on the way here.
Do you know if you have any firearms or anything like that in the residence?
No, he,
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never seen anything
In California.
in my own. I don't know. I don't know.
he does not. He had one in California, to protect, all of his pot, but,
Didn't Aunt Tina bring a shotgun down?
no.
Have you ever heard him talk like, oh, if the police ever come in, I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna do that, or
No.
he never made some
Do you like
comments?
boys? Does he ever talk bad about it?
He says don't talk to them without a parental guardian.
Okay, that's being a parent. That's all right. Okay.
Yeah. And they're not your friend and
Yeah.
things like that. I mean,
Well,
to a certain
we're not that
extent.
bad.
Right. I mean,
He did have a barricaded thing where he had a slab of, wood on the floor that he had screwed into the floor and he would put like a wood block right there.
when they went to serve him with the temporary restraining order,
Yeah.
they banged on the door and didn't answer.
Does he still have that there?
No,
So that was one of the things that he put
Heard
there.
that. because no one's,
Because of the
Tell me
police
this.
or because of the pot?
I think
because of
just
both.
barricade the door.
It was
so-
because of both.
Whatever. I don't know. He's got a strange way of thinking. It's just not normal, like clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably, that was one of the things is, I went to the cops about this and, I'm the bad guy because I called the cops on him. Oh,
Yeah.
what am I supposed to do? I mean, and they're serving you papers. I have nothing to do with that.
Right.
I'm not trying to get him arrested for anything, just,
Right.
Do you want him
want the
to stop
behavior to
his
stop.
actions?
Right. That's what I've always said. Just, behavior has to stop. It's just not healthy. Now this is to a whole nother fucking level. Sorry, whole nother level.
That's all right. So, I got someone coming in to dump your phone. Okay, I want to do that before we release you guys, whatever we're gonna do. There'd be,
How long ago did they live in Colorado, or California?
A year ago?
2 years.
What was the last time you did
2
that
years.
barricade thing?
Been back for 2 years.
He,
He's been fixing up the house now, so I don't know. when he took
sort
it down.
of. He hasn't stripped to the bone, but,
The house?
yeah, all the downstairs is, you can see right through everything.
He's always had it like that. It's always been gutted out for the most part. He's never really lived in it. Like I said, had a place for the kids there. Like you guys haven't stayed there since Mexico. Like that's when you guys started staying
Yeah.
over. But before that, it was just him living there, and it was just a shell kind of a old farmhouse that he bought. And he never really put money into it to fix it up because he'd always been living somewhere else, traveling for work.
Detective Lauren said that you have just like a bad feeling with your dad and with what was going on or something like that. What do you think happened?
Part of me didn't feel kind of safe with him. It was really, I wouldn't sleep there without my little brothers. And I think, Mom, you remember that? It was on your birthday. And I made up an excuse to not go with him because he's like, your mom doesn't want you here, mom doesn't want you here, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, let's go. And I was in the kitchen and he pretended like he was nothing. And then he was trying to make me go with him. He's like, we're going to have so much fun. No, you're not going to stay here tonight. You're going to come with me. But the boys got to stay there. But I said, and I made up an excuse, and I said, no. And I told him, I said, no, I'm not going tonight. No, I'm not going tonight. And then I made an excuse with Mom, and then I didn't end up going that night. And then
So
Mom got mad because I made it up an excuse, but she didn't really know the background of it.
Sure. So right now, though, like, you know, today or when you were talking to Mom, you know, and she had told you had said something about you can't find Rosalio, you're trying to find her.
Yeah, was it last night or yesterday? Right?
Yeah, last night.
Yesterday.
What was your first thought? Like, what did you think?
My first thought was Dad had rope and duct tape on the chair downstairs in the basement.
Okay, and
What?
so what do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think about, like, to that? Like,
When?
what do you think happened?
On Sunday. Down in the basement playing with his Legos that he had at
At
Dad's
Mac
house.
one?
Yeah.
In the basement? There's a chair down there?
It was like a lounge chair or a chair like that?
No, it was like a desk chair.
Oh,
What do you mean rope and duct tape?
Like this tiny rope, but it was like thicker.
And it was just sitting on the chair?
Yeah, but like it was all brand new.
it was still in the package, like plastic around it and stuff?
Yeah, around the duct tape, yeah.
I guess, so what do you think?
That was my first thought was Dad.
Yeah. That your dad may have done something to him?
Well,
I don't want to put
yeah.
words in your mouth, is that, and that's why I'm trying, I don't want
Yeah.
to put something out there, so.
Well, but you were with Dad on Sunday until like 5, until I picked you up.
Yeah.
And that's when I,
Is anything said Sunday?
No, I didn't ask him about it because I didn't really think anything of it. So,
Did you ever mention, like, I'm gonna get him, or I'm gonna hurt him, I'm gonna, like, I
no.
don't like him hanging around with you
yes.
guys?
He said that he told me, he said that, you know, one day maybe I'll just go up to his house and just watch him for a day or something. Those were his words. Or he said that he might follow my mom up there. Something.
When are you supposed to go back by your dad's house? What would be the,
There's not
So-
a schedule.
oh,
that's right, there isn't a schedule. And since I had filed for the placement last week and everything, I sent him an email yesterday. That said something, basically said, you know, I've been asking for a schedule, here's a proposed schedule. I actually bought a calendar, we went to,
Sure.
we bought a calendar, went to the dollar store. And the purpose of that was to kind of itemize every other weekend, starting this weekend, because she said Dad wants us over on Friday for a bonfire and yada, yada, yada. I said, okay, and we'll start it from this next weekend. That was my email, was basically like, so starting, you know, 4:30, you know, Friday to Sunday at 4:30, you can just have that weekend, and then let's just do every other weekend, I propose, from here on out. That allows you to have the kids on your birthday weekend, Father's Day weekend, and then Christmas, I said I'm willing to negotiate for the boy's birthday. I haven't heard any response to that email. When I talked to him yesterday, I sent you an email, did you get it? Because we had talked about a little bit on the phone yesterday, or last night. And I said, did you did you get my email? And he's like, no, I'm not at home. Which is weird because your email's on your freaking phone. So like, unless he didn't have it on his burner phone, because I don't know, he had some other email address on that one phone that you had, and I
It's
didn't.
give me all I
That
love
looked really strange.
at
but-
gmail.com.
How many phones do they have?
What is it?
Give me all I love.
Oh yeah, that's that other email, and I don't know
But,
much about that one. And then I just know the anonymous identity and ZJ.
There's a cracked one that I had.
Right,
There
I
was,
told about those three.
yeah, there's 3.
I think I only have the phone number 2 though.
Right, I don't know what the phone number would have been for the other burner.
I have the one that has the cracked one, but that's the only one that I know.
Right, because you had that one.
Yeah.
And that
And that was for a different,
That was the one that was taken.
the Germantown has that one right now.
Okay.
yeah.
They don't have that one.
Yes, he does. He works at MATC.
Yeah. To our knowledge, like
Hours?
part-time, and it's like,
It's like for 20 hours a week or something.
yeah, like
During night hours, during daytime
No,
hours?
during day.
early morning, it's first shift.
No,
It's Milwaukee.
no, it's not. It's second shift. It's
Second
like,
shift.
it's like from 2 to 7, I think it is. Second
Like
shift.
5 hours.
I don't know, and it's
Yeah.
like, could be any day.
4 days.
It's never 4 days. That was the schedule, but because the school is not in session right now,
Yeah.
he's not really working, he's just doing little stuff here and there.
Part-time, and then he works for,
Just saying his job
then he helps his friend at AV Design.
He doesn't even have that anymore,
What do you mean?
the pot house.
No, he doesn't.
No, that's been done for a long
And I
while.
think I said that he took them all down.
It's been done for a while. Yeah, I don't.
Does he always have, like, I mean, he's going to pick up 27 pounds, he's growing
That was
72
just a
pounds.
whole another secret thing that he kept very,
I mean, there's quite a bit of money in that, when you get up to pounds and pounds of weed.
I never saw.
Must be out of Cali.
Yeah, like I said, we've lived off of my income. I've not seen a dime.
Wow.
I mean,
Buying houses.
okay, so yeah, like maybe here, $100 here, or he'd go to the grocery store and get, groceries and come back with, junk food or whatever, for the boys. Much appreciated by all means, any little bit, but it was never like, oh, hey, I need this, or we agreed upon, this amount every month, or, anything. In
He
fact,
pays for the boys' daycare.
I didn't even get a car until just
This past 2 months.
this last year, because we needed a vehicle so bad, and he bought an Audi and
A van.
another van and everything
He bought a
before.
van, an Audi, a
He got a
stick
vehicle
shift,
that I needed.
and a car, and a new car that's in California.
What?
Yeah, he has a car in California.
What?
Yep, that's what he said.
When you talked to him last, he was still in town?
Yes,
When did you talk to him last?
just on Sunday. That was the last time I talked to him when I
Oh, you
saw
don't
him.
talk to him like every day, like he doesn't call,
I'm
hey, how's it
supposed to.
going?
I'm supposed to, and then he
Oh, I got
said,
2 of
then he
them, but I
picks
think I
me
need
when I'm supposed to call him every day. Then
Phone
he-
number is 262.
And then he says, well, you should be calling me every day, and I said, if you want to talk, you can call me, because I'm doing stuff and I forget. And he says, well, you don't forget about the people that you love, do you? And I said, that's not the point.
Right.
I'm busy doing other stuff. If you want to talk, call me. I have a phone, call me.
Sure.
Walmart things,
Yeah.
those are those track phones. I don't know where
He got them from Best Buy.
There we go.
That's fine.
Yep, in Menominee Falls, I think. Or is that where it is? Menominee Falls? Right by Costco?
Yes, yes, it is.
Oh,
Menominee Falls.
okay.
And, and the other 2 phones, I don't know.
Yeah, I think you gave me those 2 already.
This is all so much.
Mom's learning new stuff. Every single second that.
It's all too much.
So, I'm gonna grab some Google swabs from you, just because this is what we do. Not that I'm saying that you're any part of this at all. because I don't think
Or that you have coronavirus.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of the same thing, just swipe a cheek. And,
I got nothing,
yeah, and like I said, they're calling somebody in especially just to do your phone, so. I want to get that.
Do you have to do that all too, or no?
I don't think so. It's DNA, but it's used specifically for this case. We're not going to be putting it in any database or anything like that.
I'm
Can't.
concerned.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, you gonna make a phone call to Rebecca or anything?
yeah, I mean, I will, and I'm worried about Jeannie who's been out there waiting for
Oh,
us.
she can come back here too.
Yeah,
Or you know what, if you guys want to go back in there, that's fine.
yeah, I just want her, she's so worried too.
Yeah.
She just came here for me and her.
She's out there.
Yeah, we'll go back in there.
But my dad is sick and he's at home and she takes care of him, so
Yeah,
it's getting late and I need to kind of figure out, I need to get